Alright, so the video when I started, well, obviously I got the backhoe running, but had some issues. I have been using it here and there. I quit because if you didn't notice, the loader didn't want to go up anymore, so I know I was getting low on hydraulic fluid. I know I had a couple leaks, so I quit. I fixed one on the back. It was just a loose pipe, and that was my fault. Here, I'll explain. So when I did this, every cylinder on the backhoe has been rebuilt. Every line's been replaced except for the stabilizers. I have not rebuilt them yet. Now I'm talking on the rear of the machine. And then when I finished that, I fired it up and it didn't want to move. The digger didn't move at all. Boom, nothing. So I didn't know what the deal was. Anyway, I ended up disassembling the whole rear of this machine. I took out the control valve, everything, because I figured something was in the control valve, was broke. I did find a broken spring on the spool valve of the stabilizer valve. There's a separate valve for the stabilizers in this machine. Let me see. I doubt you guys are going to be able to see it, but there's an orange valve right there. That's the stabilizer valve, so hydraulic fluid comes in here, this big pipe here. It goes in through the stabilizer valve, through the other side, and into the control valve. Stabilizers were working fine, but I could not get the boom or nothing to move. Anyway, I did find on the inlet and outlets of the control valve, there was a couple valves in there that were stuck, or sticking, I don't know. But anyway, I cleaned it all up, put it back together, works fine. Now, there is a big pipe, not this one here, but back in there. There's a steel pipe that comes this way. That is the return from the control valve. It's a return to the machine. I was in a hurry and it was dark when I was putting it back together, and I cross-threaded it, so there's a leak there. I have a new pipe and new fittings, all that. Not new, new to me. I still have to replace that. Also, in the video, I don't know if you can notice or not, but it seems like something's binding in reverse. Now, I have tried adjusting the brakes in this because I have no brakes. That brake pedal on that one, this one no. For me to rebuild the master cylinders, which are up in here, there's two of them, and just to rebuild them, just for the seals and a couple push rods. I've already made the push rod, so I didn't got to worry about that. Actually, I didn't do it, Dennis did. For me to rebuild all that, just the seals, case wants $930. Are you kidding me? One master cylinder case part number is $300, which is ridiculous. I did some digging, found out that I think a Heister forklift master cylinder was the same. I found them for $68 on eBay. So I have them on my watch list. I don't think I need master cylinders. Actually, I might need one. I'm not sure. But anyway, trying to adjust the brakes to see if I can get them to work, because they were out of adjustment. I think I have them too tight. So in reverse, I think that's what's binding up. I still have to back them off. I don't have a dipstick for the power shuttle in this, so I need to order one of them. What else have I done? Oh, gauges. So let me get up here. None of the gauges worked, so I made this. And I wanted to retain the tack, and that has not worked since I've got the machine, and I found out why earlier. But I got oil. The fuel gauge, when you turn the key on, it just pegs to full. I tested the float in there. Turns out that's bad, so I got to order a different float for it. I have not got the amp meter hooked up yet. My alternator's bad anyway, and running it earlier, that was the reason. Actually, when I did the video, I ran it. I wanted to see if the temperature gauge works. Well, it don't, so I got to put a different sending unit in it. I just tried hooking this gauge up to the OEM one that's in it. It don't work. The tachometer. I noticed when I started it up, when I was doing all this, it's a cable drive tach. The cable was not turning. Well, all right, bear with me. Let me get down. Turns out there's a little gearbox right here that runs off the front of the injection pump. Well, the gearbox is full of crap, and the gearbox is bad. Well, I looked that up. That's $300 and something, so that's not getting hooked up. So, I'm gonna try to. I'll get a universal tach or something to go off the alternator. Try that. I still have a slight fuel leak on the injection pump. I haven't messed with that. The other thing is this cylinder was leaking pretty bad, and this bucket cylinder over there was leaking really bad. I had the kits here, I just haven't done it yet. I have now. I just finished it. So I did this cylinder, that bucket cylinder, which was a pain. This pin would not come out, so I had to take all this apart and pick the other end of the cylinder off. But that's done. Oh, what else? Oh, other than that, it's going pretty good. I'm about to lose daylight. I would fire it up again and go for a run, but I'm just going to waste hydraulic fluid, and it's already low. I only got 5 gallons left. So I'm going to fix that steel pipe. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to work on the boat. Get burned out on one thing. I've been working on this for a couple, I don't know, month now. But I have used it. Obviously, you see if I post, okay, if you don't see the video of me running it earlier, is because I have a magnet on the bottom of my GoPro, and I had it upside down up in the ROPS. So I'm hoping when I go in the GoPro edit to flip that around. But anyway, there's a big pile out there, and I was trying to level it all off. Little pile over there. So out in the water, where I could reach, it's pretty deep now. So that's basically what I've been doing with the backhoe. She still needs a little bit of work, but she's coming along. When I got the machine, they had a toggle switch hooked up to here, which the fuel shut-off solenoid, the wiring, the stock wiring in this thing is just trashed. But they had this hooked up, so I ran a new wire, replaced the key switch with the one I had here. It plugged right in. It's a key switch out of a Freightliner, I think. I've had it, so new keys. Well, new to me. But yeah, with the brakes, I'm gonna end up having to take both the housings off the rear axle here. Those who are watching the video sounds probably saying, "Oh my God!" No, it's not that bad. The brake housings are separate, not the axle housings. The brake housings are separate. I got to see what's going on in there. Like I said, this machine's been sitting a while, but it's been used already. I dug a stump out of the neighbor's yard, and she's doing pretty good. So, bucket teeth. I mentioned that before, I think. But these, actually, me and Dennis made them. He did most of the work. So, just mild steel, we welded up, and angle iron. They worked pretty good. Like I said, I was reaming on that stump pretty good up at the neighbor's house, and I had the front end up off the ground trying to pop it out, and bucket teeth stayed in there. So, but yeah, that's what I've been doing today, or actually, yeah, past couple days. So, like I said, about to lose daylight. I'm done for the day with this thing. And tomorrow me and the wife are going to work on the boat. Maybe we'll do a video on that. So we will see you later.